You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Today, this breakfast isn't just breakfast. It might be the first McDonald's breakfast you're having at McDonald's again. This lunch might be a weekly tradition you hadn't had in weeks. And this dinner might be the first one you bought for not just you in a while. Whatever this order is for you, McDonald's will be here to take it.
Get more of the chicken you love with a delicious McChicken sandwich for $1. And for an extra buck, add a refreshing Dr. Pepper. Dining rooms are starting to reopen in certain communities at participating McDonald's. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
In uncertain times, we could use someone to lean on. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma will stand by you with plan options to fit your budget. If you've recently lost your job, had a baby, or moved, you can still get the health care coverage you and your family need. Financial help may be available for those who qualify. Call 855-452-BLUE or visit hereforyouok.com to see if you're eligible to enroll. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oklahoma, a division of Healthcare Service Corporation, a mutual legal reserve company.
Not to be a backseat driver, but can you say for sure you got the best monthly payment possible on your auto loan? Could it be that you might have gotten a better deal by shopping the loan at a few places and have a lower car payment? Next time, before you go car shopping, visit Communication Federal Credit Union first. Our auto loan experts will find you a perfect loan and get you the lowest monthly payment we can. Communication Federal, your auto loan experts. Restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
A new year means it's time for a new home network that can keep up. With Cox Internet, you have the speed and coverage your family needs to stay connected. You'll enjoy Cox's fiber-based hybrid network with options for fast upload and download speeds. And if your household has lots of connected devices, Panoramic Wi-Fi may be the perfect fit thanks to its additional control features. Plus, with advanced security on Panoramic Wi-Fi, you'll know each connected device is securely protected 24/7. A whole world of connectivity is yours with Cox Internet. Learn more at Cox.com.
It is Sunday night. I must be Alan Ray. It's Sunday night with Alan Ray. In absence of the KLRN chat room, but I don't know what the heck we're going to do. I guess I've got the Spreaker chat where I don't know. I really don't know how to do or if I even have the ability to do the Twitter or X spaces. So, you know what? We're just going to get the show started. I'm going to do exactly what the heck I'm going to do. And oh well, here we are. Welcome to Sunday Night with Alan Ray. I am your humble host, Alan Ray. what a crazy last couple of weeks. I wanted to do a show last week. Some things kind of went sideways, went wrong. And here I am doing my thing. But that's all right. Ah, look, GR's in the chat. He's joined me. That's cool. We'll dig it. We can live with that. We'll do Spreaker chat. Why the heck not? So welcome. We've had a heck of a week. And last week I wanted to bring you this. Like I said, I had some technical difficulties and I got frustrated and I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm taking the night off. And take the night off. I did. But it was ARRL field day last week. And if you don't know what that is, basically it's where everybody and their mother takes their ham radio equipment, and the concept is to operate all of your ham radio equipment, your amateur radio equipment, on backup power, battery, and whatever, generators or whatever. You don't have to, but they encourage it. They want it to be kind of a grid down scenario, and what it simulates is if the proverbial doo-doo hit the fan. That's kind of what it's supposed to simulate. So I decided, in my infinite stupidity, to see what would happen if I just took my little 5-watt Zygu G106 and take it out back in the field, battery powered, do my thing, and figure if I could see if I could make some contacts just using 5 watts. Didn't work. And I'll tell you why. It didn't work because, number one, I've never heard the bands so packed in all my life. And here's my takeaway of it. And I don't want to bore you with this for too long because we got other things to talk about, but here's my takeaway. It seemed like every single band had at least 2 to 3 people yelling into it, trying to make contacts, and nobody could really hear anybody else unless you had at least 100 to 800 watts. Now, I did, after things settled down a little bit, get my 20-watt unit out, my G90, and I got a few contacts. People could hear me a little bit. That was cool. But it was all right. It was still fun. It was still cool listening to people. And I found a place in Louisiana. Kind of had a cool little thing about this. It's all about making the contacts. And this is out of Gulfport, Mississippi. It says, when emergency events take place, phone service could be dropped across the coast. The Mississippi Coast Amateur Radio Association is prepared for that exact scenario. On Saturday, members of MCARA practice setting up and making communications as part of field day, which is what you do. We take time to share knowledge and develop relationships in case you need them later on, perhaps in an emergency, said MCARA coordinator Steve Harrison. Hurricanes are a perfect example of when ham radio communication is critical. If you remember Hurricane Katrina, he said, I was on my roof with my cell phone, holding it up in the air, trying to get in touch with anybody. With ham radio, all you have to do is pull your radio out and call, and a group of like-minded people somebody's going to be listening. Now, other groups around the country also take part in the 24-hour field day activity and make as many contacts as possible. And even like I said, it was just crowded, but there was people, you could hear people from California to Maine to Florida, Texas, and anywhere in between. And I did make quite a few contacts just messing around. Now, there is an official contest where you fill out all the paperwork, well, actually computer stuff, and you log all your contacts, and there's prizes and there's stuff like that. And it's kind of cool. I enjoyed it. People like contesting. One of the many, many, many things with ham radio is the contests. And it looks like Jeff is going to spin us up into a Spaces. That's cool. All right. We are live. Thank you, Jeff. You are the man. And I promise you, Jeff, I'm going to learn how to do this new thing. I don't know why I didn't. And let me just post this. We're here on X. Join us. That's okay. If you're just tuning in, you missed the boring part anyway. I'm just talking about ham radio. We won't stick on that too long. But anyways, the communication's there. And right now, just as we speak, there's a really massive, already a Category 4 hurricane heading towards the Caribbean, where I just came back from, which is, this is one of the reasons that you have that kind of communication. Something that's not cell phone, something that's not internet, something that a giant corporation is not going to take months to rebuild and have to sit there and wring their hands about finances and all this stuff. Oh, it was Andrew. Huh. Okay. Well, somebody clicked us over into the live KLRN room on Spaces. So we're doing pretty good. Let's see if we can get some chat going in there too. Oh, we got the chat action. Andrew's in there doing it. All right. So if you're in the Spreaker chat, move over to our wonderful X chat. And I'm going to join it on here. I'm learning new things. You got to learn new things. I guess you just have to. That's all there is to it. So we're going to jump into that. Here we go. By God, you learn something new every stinking day, don't you? So anyways, yeah, the communication aspect of it is very, very important. And being able to set up on the fly, quickly, make contacts, is going to benefit you in emergencies like what's coming down in the Caribbean area right now. That, giant hurricane, F4, coming through there. That thing is going to tear some places up. It's going to knock some infrastructure down. And if you have a setup, and you don't need much. I've proven that, and I've talked to you time and time again. If you have a 65-foot wire with a 49-to-1 transformer into a 20-watt Zygo G90, you can communicate for miles, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of miles. And you don't have to rely on somebody who's doing it for the money to get you through. So there you go. I'm preaching to you. Yes, I am. Hello, chat room. I'm glad to have you back. We got Andrew in chat. We got Drex. Of course, GR. He's been following me around. Jeff wasn't on tonight, so that's fine. Rowdy Rick, he's coming up next. All right. That's fine. So we're good. I'm not angry at anybody. I love these guys at KLR, and they're family. So it's just one of them things. I take my own responsibility for not being able to figure out how to get on the X thing. Spaces, it's just like, something new to learn. Don't got time right now. So I didn't, and shame on me. But guys, thank you. Thank you for hanging with me. Welcome. And, but anyways, yes, we're talking ham radio a little bit before we're circling the toilet, because we got a real large toilet going on this week. This has been a really, really bad week for the Democrats and for authoritarians and totalitarians in whole, and for the bureaucracy. Now, for those of you who have been following me from day one of my very first shots at podcasting was on America Off the Rails, Rowdy Rick Robinson's show, who's coming up after me. And I did this little 5-minute blurb on basically the tyranny of the unelected. I call it Points of Tyranny. The tyranny of the unelected, and how it was the bureaucracies, and how it was, the people that you don't elect that are actually causing tyranny in this country. The elected officials, they have people to answer to. If they don't do things right, they get voted out. But the bureaucrats, oh no, they can fly under the radar. They can do whatever they want, and they're hardly held accountable. Well, we have to ask ourselves, is that coming to an end? We're going to find out. I don't know. It's going to be something. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff. As soon as I take a little break here, get myself reconnoitered, put back together, figure out where I got to go with this brand new live on X Sunday Night with Al and Ray. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. That was just enough time right there. That's all I needed. Just a little break. Just to collect myself. All right, back to the Democrats' no good, horrible week. And I'll start it out. Now remember, just a few days ago, not long ago at all, we were assured by the mainstream media, the press, capital T, the capital P press, the ones that you are never supposed to question, the people that you are never supposed to doubt. They are the purveyors of truth. From day one till the day you die, you must believe them. Assured that the problems you are seeing, the mental problems you are seeing with our current President of the United States, one Joseph Biden, was because of cheap fake videos, was because he was getting the raw end of the deal by right-wing extremist, MAGA, Trump Republican, Nazi, whatever you want to add to their description of anybody that's just right of Lenin. And I don't mean John Lennon. So they assured us that all of those problems that we were talking about were because of these cheap fake videos that they were just being edited out, and you're just not showing the president in the true light. It all came to a real bad, pathetic, screeching end this week. Now, I didn't sit and watch the debate. I watched little blurbs from it here and there. I knew what was going to happen. But the funniest part about it is they had to play under Biden's rules. And it wasn't Joe Biden. We're finding out that was actually Jill Biden's rules. And CNN's rules. That they were going to have a mic that was muted for Donald Trump. We're going to keep him silent. We don't want to hear that big mouth talking over our president. And they had all kinds of little things that Donald Trump was supposed to do. Honestly, if Donald Trump could set his ego aside just a little bit, he should play by them rules going forward from now on. Because he was forced to sit and listen to Joe Biden. Sometimes, folks, one of the best things you can do is just to shut up and let somebody hang themselves with their own words. And that's exactly what, Trump was supposed to do. He couldn't say a word while Biden was speaking, and Joe Biden screwed the pooch. It was a train wreck. It was horrible. Everything I've heard, just the little blurbs, it went south. The same mainstream media outlets that assured us that, it didn't assure us, assured their people, the people who trust them, the sanctity of the institution of the press never is going to lead us astray. Once again, they got caught lying to the American people. And now they are panicking. They're in chaos mode. Here's the extremes of the left-wing media. It goes everywhere from, Joe Biden had a cold. And then another one was, the sound man that was in CNN, he had Joe Biden's mic messed up, the mixer messed up. And then there's another one, the lighting. The lighting was bad. The lighting made Joe Biden look horrible. Just all kinds of that stuff. The problem is, and I'm preaching to the choir because the people who listen to this show know this as well or better than I do. The problem is the press, not the president, the press got exposed. We, and by we, I mean people who pay attention, people who don't take the media at face value and look behind the scenes and realize what's going on. We have been saying that Joe Biden has dementia, mental problems, or something wrong with him since 2019, and definitely since 2020. And now the media is forced to act shocked, flabbergasted. Well, we didn't know Joe Biden was this bad. Yes, you did. You knew he was this bad. We've been telling you he is this bad. You've been running interference for him. They locked him. They literally locked him in the basement in the 2020 elections. They were terrified to let him out because he would do exactly what he did this week. And he's only gotten worse. The stress of the presidency, the stress, the strain, the constant bombardment of the presidency, the phenomenon where when somebody goes into the White House and they come back out 4 years later, they've aged 10, 15 years. Imagine that being foisted on somebody already fighting dementia, already fighting mental problems. And his people, remember, every time he would start to misspeak, his people would rush everybody out of the room. You gotta go now. And they would just shove everybody out the door. They've been running interference for him for 4 years. And all of that got exposed in a 2-hour train wreck. And, of course, they're coming up with some of the, oh, my gosh, the excuses are just, they're precious. The excuses are just precious. It makes me laugh so hard watching some of these excuses. And I got to find this one. I think the winner of the Biden excuses, and I got to find this because it's just precious. Where's my bookmarks? There it is, my last bookmark. Here it is. Preparation overload. That was the best one. That's the winner. That's the winner of the excuses. Joe Biden's breakdown, his mental breakdown on the debate is preparation overload. He prepared too much for this debate, and it worked against him. Oh, my God. Oh. The best one, people saying, well, he had a cold. And the cold medicine, it really worked against him. Folks, I have played 4-hour gigs on enough cold meds to tranquilize a stinking horse. And I still didn't act like him during that debate. And the best part about it is Donald Trump was playing by CNN's rules, playing by the Biden's rules. He couldn't say a word. But the best jab he got all night was, I don't know what he said at the end of that sentence, and I don't think he did either. And it summed up the whole debate. Now, the press is going into overtime. His cheerleaders are going into overtime. The paid shills on social media that the Democrats openly hire to do nothing but just praise his name. Oh, our Lord Joe Biden. They're just in panic mode. They're in overtime trying to convince you that it was just a one-off. He just had a rough night. And then it comes out that, well, he's only president from 10 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then he shuts down. Who's running the country from 4 o'clock in the afternoon until 10 o'clock the next morning? That's what I want to know. Who's the acting president when he closes down at night? Which, by the way, is another symptom of what they call sundowners. But I want to know, who's running the country? We're in a mess. We're in a mess. And I'm not going to say Republicans. I'm a little R Republican. I'm not a capital R Republican. I'm a little R Republican. I believe in the concepts and the theories of this republic. I don't believe in the Republican Party. They're the most ballless, whiny, non-confrontational sacks of feces I've ever seen in my life. You're right, Rex. That was the line of the night. I don't know what he said at the end of this sentence, and I don't think he did either. Oh, but anyways, the GOP has to grow a pair, and they have to go after this. They have to pound this into the ground, but they won't. They won't because they're playing 1940s, 1930s politics, and this is 2024. This is why they get eaten up alive. This is why in Michigan we have communists running the state. And you think it's funny? The main communist in this state is going to be running for president. If they decide to off Joe Biden, get him out of the election, get him out of the primaries, Whitmer could very well be the shiny, slimy face you'll be looking at running against Donald Trump. And you know what? I'll almost bet she wins because people are so stupid they believe she's a great person. We know better in Michigan. She's a tyrant. If given just a little bit of opportunity, she'll grab unilateral power and become queen. And the whole nation will be screwed. Queen Gretch until she dies. She'll be 90 years old, still reigning. I dare her to run for president. I will be one of the biggest activists on the planet. Because we know what she did to this state. She screwed this state every way but sideways. We have almost reached the bottom of the hour. It is 9:25. I'm going to take a quick break because we got quite a bit to talk about when we come back. A lot of it has to do, and unfortunately it has to do with politics. We got to talk about politics. Every once in a while on this show we have to. I like to talk about radio. I like to talk about odd news. I like to talk about, UFO sightings and stuff. But folks, we're in some dark times, and I don't want you to take this wrong. I don't want you to see the darkness. I don't want you to be involved and enveloped in the darkness. I want you to see the light. I want you to be light, because there's enough darkness to go around this world. And people are going to need anchors. People are going to need people to look up to look to for answers. And we have the answers. We know what the answers are. Jeff, I haven't said that in a long time, but I will just for you. Gretch! Okay. I love it that I got my chat back. Thank you. Thank you for hooking me up to the KLRN Spaces site. I promise I'll learn how to do this. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but whatever it is, we will fix it. Anyways, when I come back, we got to talk about the Chevron deference, because as far as I'm concerned, that's going to make Roe versus Wade seem like beans. We don't even know the full effect of what that's going to do. But there's some people who say it's not going to do anything. Hopefully they're wrong. Don't go away. We'll be back in just a moment. It's KLRN Radio. It's Sunday night. It's Sunday night with Al and Ray on KLRN Radio. We be jamming now, baby. Funk it up.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $3 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
So let's discuss the fallout. Here's what's going on now. Biden screwed the pooch. The cat's out of the bag. Everybody knows that the media has once again tried to deceive everybody. And of course, the Biden people, the Biden team, even by their own words, even from their own shills, the media is divided. The media, half of the media wants him gone. The left-wing media, who just days ago said that this was all cheap fake videos that you were watching. There's nothing wrong with the president. They want half the left-wing media want him gone. But now Washington Post comes out and says Biden team's working furiously to quell any Democratic revolt after the debate. Publicly, President Biden's allies have spent the past several days aggressively downplaying his missteps in Thursday's debate by assailing the bedwetting brigade of nervous Democrats, highlighting a record influx of campaign donations and noting the long history of incumbents who stumbled and fumbled on their first debate. This is a one-off thing. They want you to believe that this was a one-off thing. Now, his family, who should be getting him into a room and going, Dad, husband, Mr. President, put a lid on it. Call it. You're done. You're done. You can't go on like this. Not only are you ruining yourself, you're ruining the nation. Are they doing that? Oh, heck no, they're not. They're not going to do that. They are drunk with power. Clovian's in the chat. There he is. Yeah, I know. He's President Pudding Brain. Been calling him that for a long time. We all knew. But the main spokesperson for wanting Biden to stay on track and to keep running for president is, of course, his son Hunter. I wonder why that is. Why do you think he's wanting the president to stay the course, to keep going, to be president for 4 more years? What do you think Hunter Biden has to gain for that, besides millions in selling his dad's name? Probably staying out of prison. Because, and I don't even see why this is a thing. Yes, President Silver Alert, President Pudding Brain. And exactly, Rick, you're dead on it. Rowdy Rick Robinson is coming on after me. They knew. They all knew he had this problem. You could tell they knew. The problem now is everybody knows. They can't cover it up. They can't do anything to make you think any differently. The cat's out of the bag. They have to deal with it. And I've heard everything from people saying, and I'm not going to discount anything right now. I'm not going to discount any story. I've heard people say that his own party's hanging him out to dry because they know he got that bad, that they let him go out there and collapse. So people won't be surprised when they pull the carpet out from under him during the DNC and replace him with Gavin Newsom or Gretsch. God, either one of those two replacing Joe Biden as a primary just makes me cringe. Shiver. I can't even tell you. Just the back of my neck is so tense right now just thinking about either one of those idiots. So that's what's going on. If you've missed it, you've lived under a rock. It's delicious to watch. It really kind of is, because now the mainstream media, and they're going to expect you to forget about this. They're not going to want you to remember this, because if you remember it, well, then you're a racist, a bigot, or something. They'll come up with some name for you. You're an extremist. They don't want you to remember this because they look really bad. They haven't looked this bad since the Covington kids. They really haven't. And everybody's, anybody with half a brain knows that they've known about this. So, moving on. Oh, by the way, you also have a White House, according to the what is it, dailymail.com, UK, Daily Mail, a White House photographer blew the whistle on Biden's cognitive health as he reveals aides knew for months he was not fit for office. So you've got this stuff coming out in typically left-wing media circles. These are not what they consider right-wing media. These are left-wing media circles that this is coming out on. All of a sudden, all of this stuff is coming into play. And yes, it's crazy. And all of this stuff's going to come out. And, of course, this is the same man that just a little while ago, the Department of Justice said, yeah, he's unfit to go on trial, so just leave him alone. And he's fit to run the presidency? He's fit to run the Oval Office? I don't think so. So anyways, moving on. It's going to come out. You're going to get more and more leaks. You're going to get more and more people rolling out now. Now that it's okay to say it, you're going to get more people coming out and going, yeah, the guy's absolutely shot. He's baked. And I'm sorry that cocaine they found in the White House. Everybody goes, well, it's Hunter's cocaine. No, it's not. No, it's not. It was Joe Biden's cocaine. This is my very own, unsubstantiated, absolutely no facts backing it up. I'm not going to lie and say there are. My personal belief is the cocaine they found in the house is Joe Biden's. I think the problem he's having is due to long-term cocaine use. If you look up the symptoms of long-term cocaine use, you can check the boxes right off, and one of the biggest ones is eventual dementia. Mood swings, all of that stuff. You can just check box after box. I think the reason that sometimes he walks out and he's ready to rock and roll and he's screeching and yelling is because he's tweaking. All right. So, more of the meltdown that's coming on. This is the 30th of June, otherwise known as Pride Month. Oh, yeah. I got to do it, Jeff. I got to do it. I'll do it later. Yeah, he's all right, Joe Kane. Pride Month is winding down. What's funny is this is CNBC. This is kind of funny. This is telling. This is more. I mean, I'm going to go through a couple of things right now that are going to tell you. This is the problem. We might be seeing backlash. We might finally be seeing backlash against the progressive extremists who have taken over the Democrat Party. And everybody goes, oh, you're right. The MAGA Republicans have taken over the Republicans. Well, years ago, the progressives took over the Democrat Party. They are not the party of John F. Kennedy. I'm sorry. They're not the party of any of the Democrats before Kennedy. These are socialist communists who have infiltrated the Democrat Party and have taken over, and I think it's starting to come to a head. I think even the Democrats are starting to look at them and go, we need to get them out. Now, and I'll tell you about that in just a minute, but Pride Month's winding down. That's according to CNBC. This year, the corporate world took a more cautious approach. Now, June tends to bring out, as we know, rainbow-themed merchandise and affirming ads and social media posts from retailers, yada, yada, blah, 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 about the LGBTQ, MNOP, YX, square root of Z community. Now, as the presidential election approaches, however, some companies have grown quieter about diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts to avoid stepping into the culture wars or facing the blowback from conservative customers that Target and Bud Light did a year ago. The starkest example of that came late Thursday. Tractor Supply, a retailer that sells animal feed, cowboy boots, and lawn supplies in rural parts of the country. And now I'm adding to this, a company which should have known who their customers are, who buys their product, said it's ending all spending tied to diversity and environmental causes. That includes no longer sponsoring Pride festivals, the statement said. The move, while an outlier in its magnitude, underscores how some companies that had made inclusion commitments in recent years are treading cautiously. You're starting to see these people look at examples like Tractor Supply, who lost, $1 billion or something like that, Bud Light, Target, and go, ooh, yeah, go gay people, something. And we're just going to go hide in the shadow back here and keep our profits, keep our business. Smart move, except the money is still, the gravy train. The money, according to this article, is still rolling in to the DEI, LGBTQ, MNOP community. I don't know why they need money. I don't know. I mean, if you want to, like, and I've said this all along, I might not agree with the lifestyle. That's my choice. It's my religion. I don't agree with the lifestyle. But what you do in the privacy of your own home is your own business. Just leave the kids out of it. And this is where they went grossly wrong. This is where they went south. This is where they became unpopular, is they're trying to mutilate and sexualize children. And that's where it all went south. That's where everybody stood up and went, whoa, wait just a minute. We are not, in fact, going to march along with that. That's gross. It's illegal. It's repugnant. It's psychologically damaging to the children, no matter what you say. And so now you're starting to see businesses go, yeah, we're going to stay out of that flaming garbage heap. As they should. Now, if that's not bad enough, if things like this aren't bad enough, this next article I got up is going to show you how bad it's getting for the progressive socialist communist left. This comes from the San Francisco Chronicle. Okay, let me repeat myself. This comes from the San Francisco Chronicle, one of the hardest left-wing extremist, I don't even know how to, I mean, we're talking Marxist newspapers, had this today, just today, June 30th, 2024. An article from a man, Justin Phillips. I shouldn't call him a man. He could identify as a tree. He could identify as a blue whale. I don't know. But the title says, here are the lessons progressives need to learn from moderates. And he's addressing this at Oakland Mayor Shang Thao's first public response to a certified recall, a mass shooting at Lake Merritt, and a federal raid on her own home last week. She failed to reassure Oaklanders worried about the direction of the city. Thao seemed too preoccupied with attacking her critics and suggesting racial and economic factors were at play in the intense backlash against her. And, of course, this guy, now you remember the guy that wrote this, he's a leftist, he's a left-wing nut job just like the rest, but he considers himself a moderate left, which means he's probably at some point willing to reach across the aisle and tell people, look, you know, I'll agree with this part. Maybe we can reach some ground. According to him, I doubt it. I doubt he could. But according to him, he would. And he says, Thao's blunder epitomizes pervasive issues that has plagued the Bay Area progressives for the past 2 years. They consistently stumble when the political stakes are high. God, I'm just mumbling on. Call me Al Biden. No, not really. I can still think. If progressives want to hold on to leadership roles in cities like Oakland or San Francisco, they need to master the skills moderates have honed. Define your identity, craft razor-sharp messaging, and turn your political opponents into allies. Now, I'm not going to read any more of this because there's just not enough popcorn and there's not enough time in the day. You have the San Francisco Chronicle browbeating the progressive left, telling them they need to start acting more like left-wing moderates. If this doesn't sum up what's going on in the Democrat Party and the left as a whole, I don't know what else does. I really don't. GR, I saw Flaming Garbage warm up for the Flaming Lips. You remember them? I still love having my chat in here. It's just so great. But, it's not going to change easily. These people aren't going to go down without a fight. These are socialists. These are communists. These are people who pride themselves in destroying anything conservative. I wrote about this years ago when Obama was president. I wrote about that these people were going to try. They're going to do everything in their power to outlaw conservatism, hands down, period. They do not want it. But if all of this isn't enough, this next story just drives a nail in a coffin. And I didn't think I would ever see this in my lifetime. This is one of the biggest stories to break. Probably since Roe v. Wade was overturned. That's the end of the Chevron deference. Now, I mentioned this at the top of the show. Exactly. You're right. They won't listen, Clovian. It goes against their religion. Statism. I mentioned this at the top of the show, that one of my very first attempts at podcasting was on Rick Robinson, Rowdy Rick Robinson, America Off the Rails, coming up right after this show. And I did a little 5-minute blurb on what's called Points of Tyranny, where I bemoan the fact that it's not really the elected most of the time that are the tyrants. It's their minions in the bureaucracies. The 3-letter bureaucracies. The FBI, the EPA, Bureau of Land Management, you name it. And since 1984, they have basically been running the country. They have been the law. They can make up laws on the spot. They can go hide in their offices and say, well, this is what we're going to go do in the up and coming year, in 2024, this is what we're going to enforce. And walk into your place of business and say, well, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and we're going to fine you $1,000. It's like, well, wait a minute, when was that wrong? Well, it wasn't wrong last year, but it's wrong this year, so we're going to fine you $1,000. And there's nothing you can do about it because they're the government. They're the ultimate power. Well, they were doing this a lot because of the Chevron deference, which basically states that the governments, the Congresses, the elected governments is going to let the bureaucracies, the departments, the administrative state have the say, make the laws to enforce the laws because they are the, quote, experts, unquote. Well, that all come crashing down. That all came to a very, very big, I don't know if it's coming to an end, but it's going to be a heck of a lot harder going forward for them to do what they were doing. Now, in case you don't know, the case was called Loper Bright versus Raimondo. And what it was about was fishing boats. Whatever it is that does the fishing, that runs the fishing, basically regulates the fishing industry. These fishing boats were having to pay to be inspected. They were having to pay for transportation, pay for upkeep for the people doing the inspecting. And this Loper Bright company took them to court. Said, this isn't fair. This is like an undue hardship on us. Something like $700 a week or something stupid like that. Well, they won. They won, and the U.S. Supreme Court basically handed down a 6-3 decision that said Chevron deference is pretty much done. It's dead. That is one of the biggest blows to bureaucracy. And what I don't get is this. you would think that the same people who out of one side of their mouths are saying, oh, we got to fight for our democracy, little d, democracy, mob rule, freedom, freedom, our body's our choice, yada, yada. They are freaking out about the end of Chevron deference because it basically guts the bureaucracies for making on-the-spot laws and regulations and inflicting hardship on the people of this nation. Oh, yeah, they're coming out with the usual, it's going to allow the rich and the billionaires to just run rampant. Well, it already does. It already does because they can pay bureaucrats behind the scenes. It's not, and get favors from them so they don't have to get clobbered. Bureaucracies have become the brown shirts of this nation. And the same people who quote, are trying to save democracy, they're having a meltdown over this. I personally think it's a step in the right direction for all the things that have been going on, for everything that's been going on in this nation. This is one of the steps in the right direction. This gives me hope. It gives me hope. It just kills. It kills the authoritarian, totalitarian politics, elected officials who hate having to do their own job. It's bad enough. These people are furious. It's bad enough they've lost the Supreme Court. They can't count on the Supreme Court to make laws anymore. These people were using the Supreme Court to make laws, not to say if, this law is constitutional, this law is not, this law can't be done this way. No, they wanted the Supreme Court to make the laws because they're lazy. They don't want to do their job. These 2,000-page laws that get passed in the middle of the night are passed this way, and they're snuck through this way because of Chevron deference. They want the departments, the lawyers in the departments, the policy lawyers, to figure out what they can and can't get away with. Even though most of this stuff is very unconstitutional, extremely against the Bill of Rights, they don't care because they can use that avenue to grasp power and take it away from you and keep you busted down to absolute zero. This is how they're doing all of this climate crap. This is how the EPA, the climate cult, is gaining all this traction through Chevron deference, and it just got taken away from them. This is absolutely huge. The implications of this going forward, I don't even think we're going to realize how big this is. I don't think we can realize how much this socks the bureaucracies right in the crotch. You're exactly right. Was that Ellie Mistel? This is the biggest power grab since 1803. Chevron deference. Taking away the Chevron deference was a power grab. That's laughable. Yep, you're right. It's only been here since 1984. And you think about how much the bureaucracies, how much the three-letter bureaucracies, the power they've gotten since 1984 till now. They run the nation. They run the nation, and it allows the bureaucracies to basically kneecap judges, kneecap Congress, kneecap the president. And now that's gone. Hooray. Hooray. I don't care if you like Donald Trump or not. His first term and getting those Supreme Court justices, and the Supreme Court justices, they're going to make decisions you don't like. They're going to make decisions you like. It's just the way it is. That decision was huge, and it was one of the best ones I've ever seen them make. Hopefully we can expand on that. Hopefully we can go from there. Hopefully we can continue to kneecap these bureaucracies until they're basically advisory panels. They should have never, ever had the power they had. They should have always been advisory panels to state regulators. The meltdown is epic. The meltdown is absolutely, it's going to be interesting. I don't know what the left is going to do when it comes time for the election. I mean, they're melting down. And to tell you the truth, I mean, and I'm not going to sit here and really spread needless conspiracy theories, but if anything happens between now and November, I wouldn't be surprised. If World War III starts to keep Donald Trump out of office, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, this is not just local. This is not just the United States of America. The global left. Remember, used to be an Alex Jones thing about the globalist elites. That used to be Alex Jones's big conspiracy theory. The globalist elites they're gonna tear up this whole country. They're gonna tear it all down, make the frogs gay. And now we accept it. We know it's real. What kind of world do we live in where Alex Jones is a prophet? I want to know what happened. It's not going to turn the frogs gay. It's just going to make them diverse, equitable, DEI frogs. Anyways, you can always tell when the left doesn't like the outcome of something because they call it far right. And this country is one, but where's this from? The New York Slimes. They don't like what happened in France. France. We are from France. French far right wins big in his first round of voting, polls suggest. The National Rally Party on Sunday won a crushing victory in the first round of voting for the French National Assembly, according to early projections, bringing its long taboo brand of nationalist and anti-immigrant policies to the threshold of power for the first time. Oh, no. It's not just America. France is getting tired of being overrun by people who don't care about their country, who want it trashed. So they're turning to the right and saying, kick these people out. It's happening here, too. And these leftist globalist elites, they don't know how to handle it. They're panicking. It's turning against them. It's turning against them. Will these people who are voting against these left-wing lunatics that are bent on this destroying the nation? And I'm going to take a step back. You know, the word equity replaced equality intentionally because equity gives the left permission to create systemic racism against the people they don't like, Asians, whites, etc. And anybody that rises up against them, if the Mexican population, the Latino population rises up against the left, they will be considered white. And they will be labeled in the equity enemies of equity. That's all that's ever done. So, yes, France is starting to revolt now, too. Hopefully, this is a global movement, and we will see the end to these WEF, World Economic Forum, United Nations, World Health Organization, stool pigeons, these shills, robots, and we can get back to focusing on individual liberties and freedom and driving what we feel like driving, not living in 15-minute cities, not eating tofu, not eating bugs, not living in shipping crates. Why do we want to do all that stuff? We don't. You don't really want to live like that. And if you do, go live like that. I don't care. I don't. I'm going to live out in my cornfield. I want to live out here where there's nobody. All right. We're back up to the top of the hour. I'd like to thank you all for putting up with my shenanigans tonight. Putting up with my my doom. And I promise all you guys in chat, I will learn this new system. I hope I'll learn this new system. Be back next week. Hopefully next week. It is the 4th weekend. I should be back. I don't see why I wouldn't do a show next weekend. I probably will, because by the time Sunday night rolls around, I'll be ready to get a lot of stuff off my chest. Have a great Independence Day. It's not the 4th of July. It's Independence Day. And I know we've lost a lot of independence. I know. I say it all the time. We are not free. We are free-range taxpayers. If you don't believe me, stop paying your taxes, and you'll realize how free you're not. But celebrate freedom and also take a few moments to sit down and think hard about what you're going to do to help this nation get our freedom back. I'm Alan Ray. It's Sunday Night with Alan Ray. Stay tuned for Rowdy Rick Robinson for America Off the Rails. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a fun night, and it continues right now. God bless you. Good night.